This is Monica.
And this is Darlene.
Darlene.
I don't know why I go Darlene. Like, why am I doing that?
That's because we're peppy. We're like little cheerleaders this morning.
You know that I get people saying like, los puertorriqueños hablan cantando. Like Puerto Ricans speak like...
But so do Colombians.
Singing. But then the other day, we had a client from Colombia and she was like, cantando. And then Mexicans, they talk like that, manito. So
They're
stop
all singing.
playing with us. Stop it. Stop. Leave us alone.
You all sing. And since I've been with a Colombian, they say I sing as well. Like
really?
it's constant like, and so I don't know why I do that. I don't know why I do that, but I do it.
No, you know that there's like a Miami accent too.
And I have it.
I know somebody that has it way stronger. You don't have it that much, but I'm sorry. I don't want to have a Miami accent. I had an audition in LA, I remember, and they were like, "Oh, you're from Miami, right? Because you have the accent." And I'm, "What?" I don't know how it happens, but I guess
it happens.
It happens.
It happens. I mean, I think, I don't know. Every culture has its like, it has its thing, right?
It has its thing. So before we started, you got a phone call. Please tell me about the phone call because it's such a cute story and it might be a sign.
Oh my God. So if you believe in signs, I don't know. It's crazy because there's this old lady. I know she's old because I could hear it from the voice, obviously.
And she told you her age.
And she told me her age this time. So she's called me twice. One time she called me, this was like months back, and I told her, "No, you have the wrong number." She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry. I apologize. I was trying to call my friend." And she hung up. And today she calls and I see like the name.
Just right now.
Like literally right now.
Before we started.
No, it was literally like 2 minutes ago. And I stayed on the phone with her for like 5 minutes. And she's like, "Oh, I'm looking for Marie." I don't know what name she said. And I was like, "No, señora, you have the wrong number." And she's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." She starts telling me I'm 100 years old. And I could tell she's old. Wow. And she's like, "I'm trying to find my friend. She's the only one that, that is around. Like, I don't have anybody." And she just starts going into this thing about life. And she says to me, "You sound like you're 19 years old. Are you like 19? And I said, "No, I'm 44. She said, "Oh, you're 44. She's like, "You're still young." She's like, "I came from Cuba when I was about 40, so over here to the States." And she just started telling me, like, live your life, do everything. You're still young. She's like, "Look at me. I'm 100. She's like, "And I still have a lot of life in me, but I don't have anybody around me anymore." She's like, "Actually, the people that I hang out with now are like people in their 40s and 50s younger than me. Wow. Because I still have so much life, but that she's lost all her family." And like all these things. And I'm like, what is God trying to tell me?
I know. So we were saying like, maybe we should have her come over and give us, I mean, it's not every day that you can talk to a 100-year-old person.
I mean, she might be saying, because you know how Hispanics are, I hate to say it, but like Cubans and all that, we're very exaggerative, So I'm like 100 and she's like 60, or what? No, she did sound older, but she did say she was 100, and she was, it was nice because she was saying how you have to live your life. And at this age, it's a time for you to do things that you need to do. Like, don't ever like let people tell you what to do or not to do. Live your life the way that you want. And I was like, oh my God, what is she trying to tell me? Is she in my brain?
Crazy. And this is a 5-minute conversation
with a stranger.
And then because she's trying to contact somebody else, but then she says, this person that I'm trying to contact is my friend, who is the only person that I have left.
Like her real true friend.
So I'm like, Monica, I think that you should call her from the car line or whatever.
And have an hour conversation with her.
And talk to her. And then maybe we can bring her to the podcast. And I don't know, maybe we'll have her talk. We'll just listen.
I love, though, it's funny because I do like, especially now at this point, listening to people that are older and like their experiences and how they see life, because it comes like in waves, you have your moments, life goes, it ebbs and it flows.
I'm older than you, so you can ask me anything.
Oh my God. Well, you're not that much older than me, but this lady, it's like, I want to pick her brain. What do you mean?
I know.
What is she trying to tell me? Go live my life. Well, what is this?
So and it's crazy, that this phone call just happened and that she told you that, because what we're going to be talking about today, it's something that, I mean, it never came up as one of the things that we wanted to talk, but I found myself having this conversation lately with some friends. I'm like, I think I'm going through a midlife crisis. And for me, when I would hear that, I thought it was the man buying the Ferrari.
Oh, yeah.
The man the stereotypical, the man going out with a younger woman. But I swear to God, like this past couple of months, I'm like, oh my God, I think I'm going through one. And so I have a friend who's also a life coach, and I told her, she's like, okay, let's schedule a session with you, because I don't know. First of all, I want to, because I go online and I'm like, what exactly is midlife crisis? Because for me, it was always thinking of the man, the sports car, and the woman. For you, what has that been? The whole concept?
That is the concept. And why is it? Again, this is not a feminist, like, but why is it is because when you would hear about midlife crisis and they would show it to you on a movie or on, mainstream media about an actor, it is because Leonardo DiCaprio is now 50 and he's dating a 19-year-old and he bought the, I don't know what, like he's going through a midlife crisis. So it was always that stigma that midlife crisis is the man that wants to live the younger life,
and women,
and it's not true. It's there's so much to it.
Exactly. So I want to talk about it because I don't know. It just came up to me. I'm like, what could this be it? But then we never hear about it, the women's perspective. Like what you hear women saying, like, "Ay, este me dejó," that he left because le dio midlife crisis, and and So this is the definition. I'm gonna read it. Like, a midlife crisis is a period of emotional, psychological, or existential turmoil that some adults experience, typically between the ages of 40
and 60.
So here I am 47, and I swear to God, that's what's going on. That's what's going on with me right now.
But why do you say that? Like, what are your like main things that you're like, something's up?
It's just, okay, so for example, the signs. It's like when you feel like you're stuck, when you want to change careers, where you want to do different things. Like I had said in an episode, maybe I won't put Luna on anything and I'll start doing classes of different things. The me overthinking of like, what's going to be my legacy? Like I was in my 20s and 30s, like I was in the acting thing, and then I moved back to Miami, and it's like, okay, what am I going to do with my life? And we do videography, I'm doing the podcast, I also do transcripts, but still I'm like, no, like what is that one thing that's going to be okay, that I'm going to be remembered for? Like what's, again, the word legacy, like what is it that I'm going to leave for my daughter? That, and then also like seeing your parents aging, and then you realizing, I'm aging too. And then also, I don't know, like, am I doing what I'm supposed to be doing? Have I
like
done
your
with
purpose.
my life with what I was supposed to be doing? So I find myself like, and with this, should I change completely, do a whole like switch and do another career?
Isn't it crazy?
Now I'm going to go to teaching as a substitute teacher. So it's just all these random things. And they had offered me to go full time. And I said, maybe this is it. Maybe I'm supposed to be with like 3rd, 4th, 5th graders every day, full time. And I almost did it. I didn't do it. I'm just going to be like more part time. But it's just questioning yourself on every single decision that you're making in the present.
Have you ever thought, I mean, I think this goes back to, again, what we see on TV, the influencers that we see, the motivational speakers, it's just in our face all day long, that it's so, I don't want to say, I don't know if sad is the word, but that we kind of put our whole life onto basically what your career is going to be. Like, it's like, did you become that great actress? That was my legacy. I was the doctor that found the cure for this. That was my purpose. And that was my legacy. And so I feel like there's this pressure subconsciously on everybody to find this meaning, I guess, bigger than, like, oh my God, I did this or I did that, or my status, or, that's what made me who I am. And that's what I'm going to leave to my kids. And I think we all go through that. And then at the end of the day, it's like, how about if you're, and trust me, because I go through this and I'm like, I know, I want to do something and I want to have this
I want to
change the world and, all these things. And you say to yourself, how many people don't end their life, and they lived a great life and they were the legacy for their kids, the ones that their kids, their family, if you don't have kids, whatever, your friends. And they're like, what I remember so-and-so of? They always brought a smile. Like, oh my God, that person, I would go around them and like, I remember them so well because they lit up a room when they came in. It wasn't it's because they were the Hollywood actress, the title. And it's sad. Like the midlife crisis too. I remember on Oprah, she was having on one of her talk shows, she had Viola Davis on there, the actress. And she said, as she was a little girl, she always wanted to be an actress. Like, she knew from the get-go she wanted to be an actress, and how blessed she was at 50-something that she got to live that dream. She was on amazing roles. She's an amazing actress. And she said, but I was still empty. Like, I went through a midlife. She said, I was going through a midlife crisis. I was like, what am I doing? Like, okay, so I got what I wanted, but how come I'm not happy?
Yeah.
Why am I not whatever? And she's like, I went through a midlife crisis. So you go back to it, and in our minds, it's always the achievement that you have with your girlfriend of the man. Again, it was always the man, because unfortunately that was what was put out there, that it was the guy that was the midlife crisis thing about the Ferrari and the Rolex. And now he's 80 and he's dressing like he's 20. And who does he think he, that sort of thing. But it's so much further than that.
Yeah.
And I do think, in all honesty, and this will be, again, another episode, and we keep saying that, like, we have to do an episode on that, and probably bring somebody very, like, more scientific on this. But the perimenopause and the aging has a lot to do with it too, because I think it brings up all those emotions of your hormones all over the place. You start questioning things. You start looking at your life. You start thinking, like, am I going to amount to anything? Am I going to prove to my kids that I was something? Like, why are we in this?
And it doesn't happen. It's not only with career choices. It's also with relationships. It's like many people could feel that, am I supposed to be with this person the next 40, 50 years of my life? Am I happy? Maybe what we wanted in our 20s and 30s is not the same thing that we want, moving forward. A lot of couples go through that too, that is this what we want? Are we going to just be together for the next, again, 40, 50 years? And many split. Unfortunately, you get all these, people that have been married for a long time, and then they go there. Again, I always say the Bachelor, the Golden Bachelor, all these like older women and men that is, okay, now we want to live again with a whole new experience, a whole new love. But yeah, so it can happen on both sides. And it's sad, because when somebody's going through that, you have like so many things in your head, and you can be, in a bad mood and sad and just frustrated, and it can affect families. And at times when I've gone through those phases, and Luna will come to me, or Fabiana, and I'm like, it's a lot like that you can have in your mind. So the best thing to do for people that could be going through that is meditating, journaling, finding a life coach, finding therapy. But it happens.
No, and
it
it's
happens.
hard. And no matter how many tools you have, or no matter how many, people come out and tell you, like, live in the now. The truth is, we should be living in the present. We should live in the now. Like what you were 5 years ago, or where you were 10 years ago, or whatever years ago. The life ebbs and flows. It's a constant changing of circumstances, of things. It's just like, it's funny. The other day I saw a psychologist. Oh my God, I love him, and I forgot his name. It just like, I'll remember. But he was even talking about, do kids, and this will be another good episode to talk about, but I'm just going to bring it in there. Do like, let's say siblings, do they have the same parents? Even if they came from the same parents? I don't know if that makes sense. And he's like, no, you don't. Why? The oldest has the parents when they were, let's just say, in their 20s. And at that time, they were going through certain things in their life, and they're the first kid. The second kid comes in.
I saw this. I saw this guy.
Hey, Gabriel, I think, oh my God, he's so good. It's very interesting, everything that he talks about. He's like, the second kid comes, and 5 years later, but in 5 years later, those parents are going through different circumstances.
It's a whole different thing.
Maybe they moved to a different house. It's a different neighborhood. The parents are in a different position, monetarily, or what, all these things, that ebbs and flows. And then you look at these 3 kids or 2 kids, siblings, and you say, why is Darlene like this? Why is Zelene like this? And why is her brother like that? I don't get it. Are they related? And you're like, yes, they are, but it's because they all went through separate circumstances.
Especially when there's a huge gap. Ours is 4. We're every 4. But then like your boys, I think it might be but it's different. So close.
But it's different. It's he had like, it's just different. There is, everything changes and everything evolves. And with the midlife crisis, it's kind of like, when do we actually, and I don't think as humans, because we're always, wanting better, we're always looking at somebody else, or we're always thinking that we're not enough, or, because we go through our emotions. When do you stop at one point and say to yourself, if I don't know if anybody's been able to master that, and say to yourself, I'm happy, like I'm living in the present, and this is what it is right now. I'm living in the now. So like I don't have to go now, like I don't know what I'm trying to say here. It's like
I think how to manage it.
Yeah, it's like or how do you let it go and say this is what it is? Like
So
I'm not gonna
that's
take it.
exactly. First of all, that's why at first I'm like, why am I going through all these like different thoughts? And so the first thing you do is you accept it. You communicate with your spouse, with your kids if they're older, and you
How
wanna
you're
talk to
feeling.
how you're feeling, and then like find ways that you can have more time to yourself. Again, like I said, meditating, journaling, or talking to a professional, and maybe do something that you've always wanted to do, a hobby, like, or something that you're very uncomfortable in doing. Like if you always said, oh, I would like to do that, but I'm scared, then go and do it.
Yeah,
You know, maybe
create that bucket list.
yeah, exactly. And there's a thing called the Midlife bucket list. And it's kind of doing the things that are completely out of the normal, out of your comfort zone, and then just go and do it. And then also you create like new friendships or groups. And if you want to take salsa, if you want to take art, if you want to take whatever, like just go. You don't have to be 12 to be like in dance classes, or you can do it at any age.
But hold on a second. So midlife crisis has a lot of like, I feel layers
Yes,
to it.
yes.
And that's one layer. The success, the career, which is all, humped into one, right? But then you've got the part, which is what we've always been accustomed to, the midlife crisis of in the relationships. Oh, now he left his wife for the 20-year-old now, and he's living his midlife crisis moment, So if we throw that theory and go do it and go live, like everybody here would be like, you know what? I'm tired of my significant other, and I'm just that's it. I'm going to go live it with the 20-year-olds,
But for example, it's something that you can do with your spouse. Let's say you're like, you know what? I want to travel solo. I want to go to India. This is something that I've always wanted to do. True story.
Yeah. Me too.
I want to go like to an ashram and disconnect. So go to India. Like go, if you can do it for work or money or whatever time, take the time. Go to India. Let's say you're like, okay, I'm going to be 5 days in my ashram in complete silence, and then have your family join. And it's something that, and if you do a sport, it's like, oh, I want to like start taking, what everybody's doing now, pickleball. Then you go do your pickleball, and then teach your husband, your wife, hey, why don't you come with me next time? And it's just like trying new things, like get a little bit out of the routine and of that like mental slump that you can be going through. And
I wonder
something different.
I wonder what happens though, and again, I'm not a psychologist, but I wonder with people that have studied this and are experienced in this, like what happens to the people, let's just say in your case, let's just say that you were really gung-ho that you wanted to be the next, what's a really good actress?
Julia Roberts.
Okay, let's say you wanted to be the next Julia Roberts that had all these things and you never did it. And in your mind, you got stuck with that. You're like, since you were 20 and you got stuck with that, I never. And I'm sure that there's people that get to 80 and they still have this unsatisfied thing because they never reached that point. Like,
and that's sad.
But not but the truth of the matter is, and let's be honest, because I see it, I have other things that I want to do, and I'm like, what if I never get there? You know what I mean? What if I never do all the things that I said I was going to do? What if I never get there? How do you cope with the fact that you are getting older? Time does eventually start to tick. Doesn't mean that you can't try it and continue trying for it, but what if you never make it to that top tier of that 1% of people that actually made it to something that big, I
think you gotta start by not comparing yourself to others. And I had to learn that really early when I would go to auditions and I really wanted something, but somebody else would get it. And I always said to myself, I am not going to go home and cry about it or be like, oh, maybe she was skinnier, or maybe she didn't have this accent that I have, or maybe, and I've always said, you know what, it's not meant for me. It's not my role. And I think that at that point, you just have to not be hard on yourself, accept what it is, and think about your priorities nowadays. Like, what are my priorities? What brings me joy? It could be cooking for a group of friends, or it could be like going to cooking classes and then becoming a chef at 70. I don't know. But I would say like not to be hard on yourself. And I think that self-care, which is not only exercising and meditating and all that, but also having friends. That's why that lady that called you, oh my God, you need to call her back, because also like having a great group of support and friends around, positive people, self-care also with your skin, like, you know, and your hair and your morning routines and your evening routines. And okay, I'm just throwing it out there. I'm not a psychologist, but it's something that I feel that, first of all, you have to stop with not putting so much pressure on yourself. Oh, I didn't make it. Because if not, I would be miserable. I'm like, I gave so much of me for acting and being in LA. And now the way I see it, it's like now I have another purpose in life. And I pray to that every single night. I'm like, Diosito, envíame, what am I supposed to be doing? In the meantime, I'm the best person that I can be, the best mom, hopefully the best wife. Fabian is behind the camera. He can tell me. But yeah, not putting all that pressure of, oh, I'm not where I said I was going to be at this age.
No, and it's funny because you think like, so, you know, in the sense of success, right? And careers, when you see people that have already built that for themselves and then they come on and they're like, I'm still not like 100%. I'm still questioning, like, so I got it. And now what? Now, you know what I mean? Like I'm going through my own midlife thing. So sometimes we think that everything would stop once we achieve a certain something. And the truth of the matter is you may achieve that and you may get that and you're still like
empty.
And I feel like it comes back down to, I mean, I don't know if this sounds cheesy or but I think at the end of the day, it comes down to success in life in every which way, whether it's your relationship, whether it's your career, your family, whatever, it's how you led your life, right? It's like at the end of the day when
the
you
legacy,
the legacy,
which
but
it doesn't always have to be like I was a doctor, I was this, but it could be more all the values that my daughter now has and what she's gonna be carrying on with her kids, and for me,
what you left behind, like what people remember you as, because people say, I remember them, they were an actor. No, I'm not talking about the actors. I'm talking about the day that you are no longer here, people look at you and say, you know what? I remember how she made me feel, or I remember how he made me feel, or I remember what a good friend that person was, or I remember, you know what I mean? And for some reason in our own minds, we put that with how much to the top visually people see from us, you know, like, again, your success. A lot of people put this with your success, like, oh, they lived a great life because they were super successful. Yeah. That could have been the most miserable person and nobody liked to be around them. You know what I mean?
You would see this like in the Instagram posts and look at everything that they're doing.
Correct.
And so sometimes when I go through that thing of, you know, like, oh my God, what am I doing? And I see that, instead of like getting all depressed about it, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to see this. I don't want to get depressed, but I'm going to actively go and do something. Like I want to, I don't know. There's nothing we can do but just stay positive and just think about how we have to care for ourselves before we care about others, and
wouldn't it be,
and not be hard on ourselves.
It would be amazing if we truly everybody really truly learned to live in the now. Because if you lived in the now, not thinking of your future self or the past of all the, shit that maybe you went through or the bad things that made you, you know what I mean? Like if you truly lived in the now, with the book, I read the Eckhart Tolle book that's called The Power of Now. It's a long time ago. And and when you really kind of like analyze that, it's the truth. If you woke up every day just living today in what you need to do today and who you're going to smile at today, how you're going to make yourself happy today, because again, tomorrow isn't guaranteed and the past is the past. We probably wouldn't go through midlife crises. I'll be very honest with you. You would be too busy enjoying the fact that you woke up this morning and you say, thank you, I'm here, I'm alive, I'm breathing, I see my kids, give them a hug. If you don't have kids, I have my friends, I have my job. I'm going to be happy for this. But when we go through a midlife crisis, because we're thinking of, oh my God, the future, like, oh
and
my
that's
God.
the anxiety.
The anxiety
is when you're like stressing about something that's not even in front of you yet.
Yeah. And it's hard because I've read so many books and I still live something going, oh my God, I'm 44. And before you know it, Benjamin, in 6 years, I'm going to be 50. I need to accomplish this before I become 50. And I'm like, why and it's a sudden, this urge to, you know what I mean? But in that, we're losing the now.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, we're losing that present moment because we're so busy thinking of how we're going to climb to the other side, you know? Anyways, that's my take on it, you know?
So that's the midlife crisis that we've been talking about. So the women, everybody can go through it said from 40 to 60.
Yeah.
I honestly, and I kept thinking, I'm like, could this be it? But I'm like, but no, because I'm not the man with the sports car and trying to go with the younger girl. But then I realized, oh my God, like, holy
No, it's
shit,
so much more to it.
We go through this as women, and it's okay, and it's completely normal. It's a matter of like being proactive, acknowledging you have it, talk to your loved ones about it, be like, if I'm in a bad mood, or if you see me like crying, it's because I am going through something, but give me a couple of minutes. I need some time. And then finding something that makes you uncomfortable, but that you always wanted to do. Like, don't think, oh, I'm not going to do that now because I'm in my 40s. Do it. Like, take a new class, make new friends. I was reading something about how being sociable and having friends gives you so much life.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm going to do it. I love that.
Something that I'm thinking about that you're saying, going back to the part of the midlife crisis of what we were always like, whatever, the men, right? Not men,
yes.
Even women. Okay. So both, but the men thing of like, finding the younger chick with all this stuff.
And wait, women do too, probably. They find the younger.
1,000%. No, 1,000% they do. But it was always put back, at least when, we were growing up in the movies, it was always the guy, right? That's the portrayal, but it's both. Again, going back to the power of now, think about it. The people that are doing that is because they're living in the past. And they're they're remembering the past when they were young and they were going out and they were, living it up with their friends, and they were having, they didn't have a commitment to somebody else and they were having fun. You didn't have the responsibility. So when you're in a marriage, let's say going to that part of the midlife crisis, you're in a marriage for so long and it gets redundant.
Yeah.
And it's the day in, day out, you know what I mean? Of the same, shit over and over. And it gets boring. And then it's also stressful. And you start.
Don't take it personal, Ben. You're Fabian. This is not for you.
No, but it happens to everybody. We all fall in that, right?
We all go through those phases, and they do too.
Every single person, I don't care who you are, has gone through something like that. If you've been in a relationship for a long time, and going back to it, when you leave your significant other, let's say in that case, to go find the younger girl and live it up, you're living in the past. You're living in the memory of who you used to be, and you're like, I'm scared. Life is I'm already older.
Yeah.
I'm 50. I'm 60. I don't want to get old. So then you go and you do like a Hugh Hefner thing and you do a Playboy mansion with a bunch of like, naked chicks because you need to go live it up. It's that thing of holding on to your youth.
And at the end, you're going to end up being empty. So you can still do that, but do it, it's a different stage with your family. So, I love when you go out on your date night, salsa dancing with Benji. And the same thing, like sometimes Fabian's like, let's just go out, have a beer, just the two of us. And it's keeping that alive. And again, and if you want to do something new, like a hobby, then do it. If you want to travel alone, do it. And then invite your family to come meet you. You can still do things that are fun. Because also if you stop and you become in this, boring and redundant relationship in life, you don't want that for the next 40 years of your life either. Which
happens to the bulk of people.
Yeah.
You go through that phase and then you got to bring yourself back to center, regroup and say, okay, guys, there's something up here. Like, let's start this up again, And
it happens a lot to people that have an empty nest. When the kids go to college, they're like, okay, they're gone. We're done with the, with the corriendo para arriba, para abajo, los niños, the sports, the things. It's like, okay, now they're gone. Now it's just the two of us. So a lot of people, unfortunately, when they get to that point, they realize we don't have anything else in common and they go their separate ways.
Or they think
because the kids are not there. So also while you have kids, especially the teenage years, which is so hard for parents, that's when the couple, more than anything, they need to like get together and find their moments and have like their weekend trips, just the two of them, because soon those kids are going to be out of the house. Yeah. And that stress that the girl rolling her eyes and the guy with the dating 3 girls, you need to find a way like to step back and find things that give you joy in your personal life, with your relationship. So when those kids go to college, you're not left like, oh my God, who's this who's this man next to me? We were so everything about the kids that we forgot about who we are. We forgot about who we are individually and in the relationship.
Unless it's really bad, because I'm sure, and I'm not going to say that it's okay, but it happens, right? I'm sure that there is people, both men and women, in the relationship side of it, right, that go through a point where it's just they're falling into a depression. You know what I mean? Because I'm sure with the midlife crisis, there's also the part of depression in there. And if if it's that bad, either you go and you seek counseling for it to feel out what you're feeling. Life coach, a counselor, whatever, and you try to figure out what's going on. And sometimes you will end up figuring out it's time to separate. Because you know what, I'm maybe not in love anymore. I do want to fulfill this part, and I can't do that in this marriage. And it sucks because people say you took the vows and you did this. You know what?
Society,
things happen.
You're supposed to be doing things a certain way. Yeah.
But who are we to say what's in somebody's brain and what they're going through? So, but at the end of the day, it's just worth always like looking into and maybe trying to get help. And again, I think that if we truly could not think of tomorrow, and we could literally erase from our memory yesterday, and we were just living in today, a lot of us wouldn't go through that.
I know.
So,
I mean, if you're listening to this episode and you felt like stuck in a job where you don't feel like you're being acknowledged or any promotion soon, or you just don't want to do that anymore, and you've been doing it for 20 years, but you're scared of stepping out. It's, again, do what gives you joy. Know that you're not alone. A lot of us could be going through that, again, midlife crisis, career switch, maybe, because let's say you're in your 40s, you have 40, 50 more years to go.
Hopefully, let me know.
Yeah, hopefully. So it's, do you want to be where you're at right now? And then also, if you don't have like friends that you could talk to about it, then again, seek a professional, a therapist, a life coach. There are so many out there right now, helping people. Meditate, journaling. I know we keep saying it, self-care, because this is the thing. When you feel like that, sometimes you don't want to get out of bed. You're like so depressed. I don't want to do this job. I don't want to do this. I don't want to see my spouse. It's like, get out of bed, go take a nice shower, go get your good, whatever self-care products you use for your face, and work out and get active and go online and sign up for a class, do it. But you're not alone. And a lot of people are going through this, but it could lead to depression. So talk to somebody about it for sure.
Yeah, definitely.
So with that said,
I'm like, definitely what? I don't know. I have to put an extra word in there just to put it. I don't know.
For sure.
For sure.
So. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in. Anything else you wanted to add? You have to call that lady.
I am. I think I'm going to call her. I don't know why God brought her to me.
I'm telling you. And what did she say? We're going to end with what she said. The advice that she gave you, the one you started
She just said, live your life. She said, live your life. She's like, I'm 100 and I can tell you, I still dance. I still go out. She's like, I am still, always searching for connection. All the stuff that she was saying. I was like, oh.
That's great. So hopefully we'll get to meet her soon.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. See you next time.
Bye.